Hello everyone and welcome to Washington Lee High School, where the Wakefield Warriors are here to dive against the Washington Lee Generals. Annabeth Stokely for the Generals gets our diving competition off to a good start. Elegant backward dive by Stokely. We've got a total of 7 divers competing tonight. 4 on the girls' side and 3 on the boys' side. And now Ellie Heil from the Wakefield Warriors will take the board. All the divers will be beginning in the backward dive to start the meet. Nice dive by Ellie Heil. A little bit later now, Pia Kramer for the Generals. Terrific dive by Pia Kramer. Solid scores from the judges for Pia Kramer. Now Alexis Lopez will be taking the board for the Wakefield Warriors. Very graceful dive from Alexis Lopez. So the girls' competition is off to a terrific start now. The first round for them is done. And we've seen 4 great dives. All right, a little bit later now, we're going to go with Noah Kennedy, who will be diving for the Washington Lee Generals. As I mentioned, for this first round, all the divers will be selecting a dive from their backward repertoire. Beautiful dive by Kennedy. And now Christopher Robertson will be diving for the Wakefield Warriors. Very graceful dive from Christopher Robertson. So, first round going very well for the divers. Good scores from the judges for Robertson. And now, Edward Goodwin from the Washington Lee Generals with his first dive of the competition. Great dive from Goodwin. So the first round is complete. We've seen 7 terrific dives. And a little bit later we'll go back to the top of our lineup. Annabeth Stokely back to dive for the Washington Lee Generals. Stokely staying over backward dive. Washington Lee swim team, they're over on the pool deck at the end of the diving pool to support their diving teammates, and Stokely got them excited with that dive. So now we're back to Ellie Heil for the Warriors. She's back for her second dive of the competition. And we'll have our first forward dive of the competition. Nicely done by Ellie Heil. So good dives continue all around. Now, Pia Kramer for the Washington Lee Generals, back for her second dive. She's starting from the backward position. Terrific dive from Pia Kramer. And the swimmers, her teammates, her swimming teammates, are on the pool deck cheering her on. And now Alexis Lopez for the Warriors with her second dive. You might see the blue and silver or gray balloons. It is senior night here for the Washington Lee Generals. And for the festivities, they've got some decorations out in the pool. Lopez with a very strong dive, so second round for the girls is now done. And we've seen 8 great dives. Back to the start of our boys lineup for their second round. And Noah Kennedy will be diving. You hear the scores for Alexis Lopez. All right, Noah's been announced. And Kennedy for his second dive will continue to start in the backward position. Inward somersault. Great dive from Noah Kennedy. So through 2 rounds, Noah Kennedy is off to a great start. Very strong scores from the judges for Kennedy on that round. And now for Wakefield. Christopher Robertson stepping up to dive. Robertson adjusts the board. Both these teams getting ready for the Conference 13 tournament coming up very shortly. This is toward the end of the regular season for both teams. And the diving and swim teams will be competing in the conference tournaments very shortly. Great dive from Christopher Robertson. Edward Goodwin now. Goodwin is back for his second dive for the Generals. Strong dive from Edward Goodwin. So 2 rounds are in the books. We've had 14 great dives. Here are the good scores for Goodwin. Back to the start of our lineup now. Annabeth Stokely for the Generals. Stokely once again from the backward position. Very strong inward dive for Annabeth Stokely. She's having a pretty good night. Ellie Heil now for the Wakefield Warriors. Heil with a twist. Ellie Heil with a twisting dive. Great dive by Pia Kramer, inward. Starting for the backward position. Another great dive by Pia Kramer. Some scores from the judges. So halfway through, we're almost halfway through the girls' competition, and Pia Kramer has taken the lead. But we're getting great dives from everybody. And now Alexis Lopez will be diving for the Wakefield Warriors. Lopez with a nice twist. Great dive from Alexis Lopez. So that brings, we're halfway through with the girls. And we've seen some great dives so far. And now we'll go back to the start of our boys lineup. So we've got Noah Kennedy getting ready to dive for the Washington Lee Generals. Kennedy with a terrific dive. Kennedy with a twist. Got his swim teammates over on the side of the pool deck. Got them cheering on that one. Good scores for Noah Kennedy, so he continues to have a good evening. And now we've got Christopher Robertson diving for the Warriors. This will be his third dive. Robertson with a nice twist. Very solid dive by Christopher Robertson. All right, we'll get to the last dive of the third round. Edward Goodwin for the Washington Lee Generals. He opened up with a couple of great dives, and now he's here for his third dive. Goodwin with a very strong inward, backward position dive. Good takeoff, good entry. Solid dive all around. So we're halfway home, and Annabeth Stokely will begin the fourth round. Strong dive by Annabeth Stokely. First dive starting from the forward position. And another good round of scores for her. So Ellie Heil now for Wakefield will be on the board. Heil already gave a twisting dive last time out. And she stays with the backward dive. Very nice dive. Heil getting some appreciative applause from the crowd. And so we are back to Pia Kramer for Washington Lee. She's put up 3 really strong scores on the board through the first half of the competition. And she'll be diving for the 4th time tonight. Great dive by Pia Kramer. She's continuing to have a strong night on the board. Another round of good scores for Kramer. And we're back to Alexis Lopez for her fourth dive. Lopez with a very mild adjustment to the board. She's ready to dive. Great dive by Alexis Lopez. So 4 rounds on the girls' side. We've seen terrific diving, and now we'll move on to the 4th round for the boys. And Noah Kennedy from the Generals will be back on the board. All right, so we've got a reverse dive coming up now from Kennedy. Terrific dive from Noah Kennedy. Strong liftoff. You see his diving teammates off to the side. Good liftoff, good entry. And some more good scores for Noah Kennedy. So now it'll be Christopher Robertson for his 4th dive. Diving for Wakefield. You can see the blue and silver balloons, silver gray balloons. It is senior night here at Washington Lee, and they're decorated the pool deck. There'll be some festivities later on. All right, Robinson now ready to dive. Very strong inward dive from Christopher Robertson. Good scores from the judges, and now we're on to Edward Goodwin for the Generals for his 4th dive. And Goodwin with a very strong dive. So 4 rounds are done. It's one great dive after another. And we're back to the top of the lineup now. Annabeth Stokely. Stokely will be diving for her 5th dive tonight. Great dive by Stokely. Her teammate Pia Kramer has the lead, but Stokely's been putting up good points on the board herself. And Ellie Heil with a terrific dive for the Wakefield Warriors. So Heil has done her 5th dive. So we're back to Pia Kramer now. Kramer diving for the Generals. On the girls' side, Pia Kramer has the lead through 4 rounds. And a great dive from Pia Kramer. So she continues to have a very strong night on the board. All right, now it is Alexis Lopez for Wakefield. Lopez back for her 5th dive. Lopez will start in the backward position. Very nice inward dive from Alexis Lopez. So 5 rounds of the girls diving had happened. They'll each have one more dive, and now we'll move on to the 5th round for boys. And Noah Kennedy getting ready to dive. Great dive from Noah Kennedy. So Kennedy continues his strong night. He's through 5 rounds now. And a great dive from Christopher Robertson. Back to Edward Goodwin. Goodwin getting ready for his 5th dive. Great dive by Edward Goodwin. Having a very strong night here off the board. And that ends the 5th round. A lot of great dives so far. We've got 1 round to go. And Annabeth Stokely will be back for her final dive of the evening. Great dive by Stokely. She finishes off a very strong evening. And now a little bit later, there's a great dive from Ellie Heil for the Wakefield Warriors. All right, now moving right along. Pia Kramer diving for the Generals, her 6th dive of the night. A terrific dive from Pia Kramer. So Kramer finishes up a very strong evening. 6 terrific dives from Pia Kramer. And Alexis Lopez now with her final dive of the evening. The swimmers who are coming up next. And Lopez finishes very strong. Great dive from Alexis Lopez. You can hear the swimmers, they've begun to warm up in the swimming lanes. They will be racing as soon as we conclude the competition for dive. And so now Noah Kennedy will be back for his 6th dive. The 4 girls diving have finished for the night. They had terrific dives from all of them. And Noah Kennedy will try to finish off what has been a very strong evening for him. Great dive from Noah Kennedy. So Kennedy is done. 6 great dives. And we are up for Christopher Robertson now from the Wakefield Warriors. Robertson with a strong dive, so he had a good evening. Finishes with a forward dive. And our final dive of the evening now, Edward Goodwin, the Washington Lee Generals. Terrific dive from Goodwin. So Goodwin also finishes up very strong. He had a strong evening of diving. So that concludes the dive competition. On the girls' side, Pia Kramer took first place, Annabeth Stokely in second, Alexis Lopez in third. Ellie Heil took a fourth place for the Wakefield Warriors. On the boys' side, Noah Kennedy took first place. He was followed by Edward Goodwin, and then Christopher Robertson for the Warriors. Thanks for watching.